Prenups are such a good idea, especially if you're going to be entering into a second marriage and you have assets where you're coming into this marriage that you want to protect, or you have children from a first marriage that eventually want them to inherit some of your assets. They are such a good idea. But if they're done wrong or cheaply or fast, or not all the protections are taken, they can be some of the most expensive litigation that you'll ever encounter. Christopher has a couple cases under his belt involving prenups, and he got them settled, but it's just a long haul.
But you know, when the prenuptial agreements are done right, it really can make all the difference. A client comes to mind. I was involved in helping her with her prenuptial agreement about 5 years ago. And it was a second marriage. She was older, hadn't had children, and she had became pregnant with somebody, the father of her child, later husband, and she wanted to get married. She wanted to take a shot at making it work for the child, but she'd had a pretty successful career. She was a career-focused woman before the marriage. She had developed a net worth that was something definitely to be proud of. The husband, not so much, but she did a prenuptial agreement that clarified, the husband wasn't going to be able to attack the assets that she brought into the marriage or what she was going to be making during the marriage. And a couple of years later, the divorce did end up happening. And I'll tell you what, it made the resolution of everything so much easier. If she had had several years of her financial accounts mixing together, the divorce would have been a convoluted mess. And the sad reality, based on how she and a lot of other women conduct their financial affairs once married, is she would have been dividing with her husband half of everything that she had spent an entire lifetime accumulating due to her hard work. And that type of result, it would have made her sick, it would have made me sick, it would have been truly unfair. And that's where the prenups come in.
They come in to help in that way, but there are plenty that are not drafted the right way that cause litigation later on in the case.
So if you're going to do one, do it right. You're going to need, when we have them, we make sure we meet with our clients, find out what their goals are, what their objectives are, and we prepare it properly. But we make sure that their spouse has an attorney, that they negotiate some changes to the contract so nobody can argue anybody was strong-armed into anything. And when we get them signed, we usually do it kind of like right here with all these cameras. It's done on videotape, so nobody can claim later that they didn't know what they're signing. And when a prenuptial agreement has been drafted, the divorce, can generally go
simple.
Yeah.
Easy. Unless there are children, you still have to deal with incomes and child support and timeshare and all of that, because that cannot be dealt with in a prenup. It's not enforceable. But in regards to assets and liabilities, the divorce case is pretty simple because you've already spelled everything out.
Yeah, the prenuptial agreement basically is the divorce agreement with the division of assets. So that really makes it easy and really makes the divorce process, if it is going to happen, something that is a much more expedited process. Oftentimes people don't, try to get rid of prenuptial agreements in the divorce. It usually makes for a divorce that stays below the radar and is over with pretty quickly, as most divorces should be.
Properly done prenuptial.